Get ready, because Formula One is about to change in a way we haven't seen for decades. In 2026, everything you think you know about these cars, it's all getting thrown out the window. This is the Great Reset, explained.
So, let's get right to it. Why? Why tear up the entire rulebook? I mean, this isn't just a minor update. F1 is going back to the drawing board to tackle some pretty big problems they think need a total rethink. And this really gets to the heart of it. The whole goal is to create something new. Cars that are lighter, nimbler, power that's actually sustainable, and, most importantly, racing that's just plain better. All right, first things first, the cars themselves. You've probably heard it, right? The drivers, the fans, everyone says the current cars are just massive. They're heavy, they're long. Trying to race one around a tight track like Monaco is like trying to park a limousine in a go-kart spot. Well, the 2026 rules are designed to fix that, big time.
And you can see it right here. The Nimble Car concept, as they're calling it, means everything is shrinking. The wheelbase, shorter. The overall width, narrower. Even the tires are getting skinnier. They're basically trimming the fat from every single angle to make these things more agile.
And this is the big one. They're aiming to shave off at least 30 kilograms. Now, 30 kilos, that might not sound like a crazy amount, but in Formula One, where every single gram counts, that is absolutely massive. It's a game changer for how these cars will feel and perform.
And the whole point of this diet is to get back to proper racing. We're talking real wheel-to-wheel combat. Lighter, more nimble cars mean drivers can actually follow each other closely and make a move, especially on those tight street circuits where, let's be honest, the current cars look like they're just stuck in a parade.
Okay, so the cars are getting smaller and lighter, but that's only half the story. Now we've got to talk about what's powering them, because the changes under the engine cover are, if you can believe it, even more radical.
Check this out. For the first time ever, we're looking at a perfect 50-50 split in power. Half of it's going to come from the internal combustion engine, a V6 turbo, but the other half, a full 50%, is coming from electric power. That is a huge leap into a more hybrid future for the sport.
And just look at the jump in electric power. The MGU-K, that's the bit that captures energy when the driver hits the brakes, is getting a massive boost. We're going from 120 kilowatts today all the way up to 350 in 2026. That's almost triple the power. It completely changes the game for how these cars will accelerate and deploy energy.
So, how are they making all this work? Well, one of the smartest moves is actually getting rid of something. The MGU-H, which has been this super complex, super expensive piece of tech that recovers heat energy, is gone completely. This makes the engines way simpler and cheaper, which is a huge reason why we're seeing big names like Audi and others jumping into the sport.
And this is a big one for the sport's image. The engines will run on 100% sustainable fuel. So think of it this way. The CO2 that's released when the fuel is burned is balanced out by the CO2 that was captured to create it in the first place. It's a synthetic, drop-in fuel that makes the cars carbon neutral at the racetrack.
Okay, so we've got smaller cars, a wild new engine, but how does all this translate to the actual racing? How are they going to overtake each other? Well, the answer is a brand new, almost sci-fi approach to aerodynamics.
Yep, you heard that right. Say goodbye to DRS. After more than a decade, the drag reduction system is being replaced. And what's taking its place is something way more advanced, a fully active aerodynamics system.
So, think of it like this. Drivers will have two modes they can switch between on every lap. You've got Z mode, which is your high downforce setting for maximum grip through the corners. Then, when you hit a straight, you flick a switch to X mode. This opens up the wings, front and back, to cut through the air and boost your top speed. It's going to be a constant dance between grip and speed.
But that's not the overtaking tool. This is where it gets really clever. The new system is all about electrical power, not just aerodynamics. With DRS, the defending driver couldn't really do anything. But this new system, it's a strategic weapon for both the attacker and the defender. You get an extra shot of battery power to make your move.
They're calling it manual override mode, or MOM. When you get close to the car in front, you get access to this extra electrical boost. And now the choice is all yours. Do you use it to dive bomb into a corner? Or do you hold on to it, wait for them to make their move, and use it to defend on the next straight? It's going to be a high-speed chess match every single lap.
Now, rules this big don't just change the cars. They completely shake up the entire grid. The new engine formula has basically rolled out the welcome mat for some huge names in the car world, and it's forcing everyone to rethink their alliances. I mean, just look at this lineup. We've got Audi coming in as a full factory effort, taking over Sauber. We've got Cadillac jumping in. Honda's coming back in a big way, partnering with Aston Martin. And then you have Renault apparently stepping back from being an engine supplier. The entire power structure of the sport is being redrawn.
And what does all this mean? Well, the big hope is that this reset, the new rules, the new teams, finally levels the playing field. This could be the moment that breaks up the current pecking order and gives us a truly unpredictable championship.
Which leads us to the billion-dollar question, right? After all these meetings, all this engineering, all these massive changes, is it actually going to work? Will it really give us the better, closer racing that we're all hoping for?
Because that's what it all comes down to. We're getting new rules, new cars, new power, but are we going to get new winners? Or will the same teams who are on top now just figure it all out faster than everyone else? That's the one question we can't answer until the lights go out in 2020.